Hello and welcome. In this lesson, we're going to learn more about Retrieval Augmented Generation or RAG. Let's think of the following scenario. You have a lot of documents and you're looking to get quick answers about what's in some of them. It could be asking a specific question or getting a summary of a document or just finding some information quickly. So manually searching this is obviously very time consuming. But even using something like keyword searching, it's not going to get you necessarily all of the results that you need. Because if you're searching for, say, fitness routines, it's not going to get you workout plans or exercise schedules or any synonyms. It's got no context of meaning. This sounds like an area in which large language models could be of help. And in fact, you can do that already with chatbots like ChatGPT. It's common that people will write something like summarize the following, and then you kind of copy and paste what's in your document. And that can work if you have just one document and a short one, because you can't really put that much content into these tools. They have a limited context window, meaning their capacity to process information in a prompt. So you could be using a large language model in this manner, and that is how you would go about it, right? Just copying and pasting the information. But what are the issues with that approach? Well, firstly, you're going to hit that limited context window very quickly. It's also time consuming to be copying and pasting things because you still have to find the document, maybe from perhaps hundreds or thousands of documents. And you might still risk not getting the correct answer because maybe you didn't find all the documents that you needed to pass to the large language model. It is also not scalable. You can't be doing this with a team or as part of an application that you might be developing. So it's not really going to cut it if you have a lot of data. So the solution, Retrieval Augmented Generation, is what can help you in this case. And the way this works is, firstly, an index is created with all of these documents so that then the user can enter a query, for example, asking a specific question about something that's in those documents, or asking for a summary, or asking about how different documents relate to each other. So you enter that query, and then the index is used to find the relevant information. And the relevant documents, or part of those documents, is then passed onto the large language model with your query in it. It ends up working similar to what we showed previously. For example, summarize the following text for me, things like that. But the text that is passed to it is determined by the retrieval system, which will use the index to find the elements that are relevant. So essentially, we have document indexing, which is the first step. That's what we need. Then that index can help us catalog the information, and it allows us to find which segments from the documents, because you could have documents that are huge and then they are split into smaller segments. Which ones of those are relevant to the query? So the Retrieval Augmented system will handle your question, will have a whole query processing module, because a query or a question about, let's say, something you want to know about a document is very different from summarizing something. So there are different types of queries, so you need this query processing, which will be using the index to grab the relevant documents, and those are then passed to the large language model. The library that we're going to be using in this course, LlamaIndex, is an open source Python library developed by Jerry Liu and a team of contributors and members of that project. And it is a fantastic tool to get a RAG type of program running in very few lines of code. You're going to be really amazed by how little code we need to start talking to a bunch of documents. And as we've discussed already, there are different data sources. LlamaIndex doesn't only support files, it also supports web data, and there's a whole ecosystem of connectors so that you can connect to tools like Notion or Trello or Google Calendar and fed those into your indices as well. So the user enters a query, the index is used to find the relevant documents, and then that's all fed into the large language model. To summarize, we've talked about the disadvantages of a manual search and everything in between to using a RAG system, meaning a system that's going to be using indexing to fetch precise answers. And our next steps will be to use LlamaIndex to build our own RAG applications. And as I mentioned, that's super easy to do. It's going to be very little code. So I'm super excited to have you on board. I think you're really going to enjoy the examples that we're going to be going over. Thank you for watching this video. I look forward to seeing you in the next lesson.